Lloyd was averaging around 2.8 months with every client that he worked with. He was a fantastic coach, he was very knowledgeable, he genuinely cared about the people that he helped, but that revolving door of clients and the churn coming off the back end of his service, it was costing him, not just in sort of revenue and time and money and effort, but his confidence was ebbing because he just felt that what he was doing wasn't working and he didn't have any value in what he had to offer in terms of his service. But one change took that average to 6.7 months. It wasn't better programming, he didn't change his prices, he didn't change his marketing or didn't change apps on the inside of his service. Nothing to do with his check-in structure. It was something so simple that most coaches never think to do it. And so obvious that once you hear it, you're probably going to be frustrated that you didn't think of it sooner. What you're about to watch is a lesson inside my community scale with service. And it covers the single most common reason clients drop off. So if you're losing clients earlier than you like or you're finding retention unpredictable, this video is going to change how you approach every client relationship going forwards. So by the end of it, you're going to be able to extend the lifetime that clients stay on with you, and you're going to take control and have a bit more predictable income and energy, knowing that each client you take on is going to stay for longer. And from my perspective, that's really important because you get better results, which attract more direct inquiries, and you have a better opportunity to foster a good relationship, which can drive more referrals as well, which feeds back into your business on the front end. So let's dive in. I shit you not, the vast majority of drop-offs I've seen, and I've also helped 180 across the clients I've helped, comes down to the fact that people just simply don't believe they're making progress. And I'm putting this in the module because it's worth repeating and you coming back to remind yourself of this, because as coaches, we are so guilty about internalizing it. Oh, it's me. What did I say? What question did I use? Do I need to change the copy in my my form? Do I need to change my headlines? Do I need to change elements of the plan? Do I need to kind of change their diet? Were they not like... You're only in their lives for 2% of the week. And the vast majority of it is the internal dialogue they have in their head. The internal dialogue you don't know about because you can't mind read. And this is why the check-ins are so important. We're going to get onto this, but you know, voice notes vastly outperform forms. Yes, forms are efficient, but if a lot of coaching is reading the subtext, it's reading what they're not saying just as much as what they say, because you need to pick up on what's going on. What are the clues that they're not taking action? Why aren't they taking action? Because again, people aren't stupid. They're not. It's not about intelligence, but they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the experience. They don't have the belief. They haven't achieved the results. So they don't have the belief. And they're constantly fighting this legacy belief structure, which is resurfacing itself continually. And it's negative thoughts, it's doubt. And then you couple that constant barrage after that initial motivation intense ebbed away. That's going to resurface. Hell, their friends might even be negatively negging. Is it negging? Nagging? I guess it's negging, technically. Not even sure that's a word, but we digress. Just chipping away with these little comments, you know, crabs in a bucket, one's trying to grab out and the other one drags them back down. This is happening, and then you combine that with the fact that they can't see eye for detail and they don't notice progress, and their perspective is way off on where to actually look for progress. You know, you'll read the example below, but Lloyd's clients, because they're Gen Pop lifestyle transformation, they overly obsess about the scale weight without taking into account density exists, or the fact that there's hormonal fluctuation with women's cycles. So water weight goes up and down, inflammation exists. And again, they're looking at one metric and judging success on that. And you know, we had an insane example where it's now every 6 weeks we're doing progress reports, which again is a great idea because it's a good amount of time where you can lay out that contrast, the biggest contrast you can ethically show, and then tell them where to look. You know, if you look at your lower ribs and then where your belly button is, look at those 2 points. Look at your shoulders and then look at where your belly. Draw your eye from here to here. Tell them where to bloody look because they don't have the eye. People are terrible at perception if they haven't gone through and they haven't got the experience. So don't leave it up to them. So with that, this client completely 180'd and they were shocked at the level of the results they had. But they didn't notice it because they were so close to the process and they saw themselves every single day, and all they saw, because again, their belief structure controlled their perception. We know about beliefs, but the belief structure controlled what they looked for. It controlled what they fucking noticed. And because of that, she then looked for the negative. She was making progress, but she looked for the negative over and over again, and she told herself that over and over again, and then bang. I'm going to quit. I'm not happy. Maybe I'm not made this. Maybe this isn't right for me. Excuse, bullshit, 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 old identity. And it was just one clean, simple illustration, before and after, tell them where to look. Shattered that false illusion of she's not making progress. Irrefutable evidence, new evidence. And lit the fire to continue and kept going. I'm getting angry and passionate about this because it's such an obvious example that we forget because we internalize it as our own, it's us, the service provider. But it's normally them. It's normally their thought process. So pointing this out and making irrefutably clear that they are making progress, whereas, sometimes it's going to be visually based. It depends on your niche. It depends on your service. You could use some of their language and some of the text they've sent to illustrate the behavioral change. Again, depends on the service level. But showing progress or pointing out progress and making sure their perceptions aligned with actual progress is key, because people will not continue to take action if they don't think it's going to be self-serving. And it's the same with you. If I seriously doubt that you're not willing to put in the hard work if you knew it was going somewhere. And if that isn't you, then you don't deserve it. Good things take consistently and hard graft. And without doing that, they're not even worthwhile. So if you know this in yourself, if you knew it was going to produce the result, you'd happily do it. But again, you've got to realize you've got the physique, you've gone through this process, you know it, you physically know it. You've got the proof, irrefutable proof. They don't. So this is so key. And again, it just seems blindingly obvious, and yeah, people make progress, but not enough coaches do this. They just talk about it in the check-ins and then they assume that's it. But with the check-ins, if you're not showing the biggest contrast, or even if you are and you do it continually, people tend to forget and they kind of ignore it. 6 weeks is such a good frequency because it's a little event. It's in between the rhythm of, if you're doing monthly subscriptions, it's in between that. So it's kind of in the middle. And it's like enough of time to pass to get little updates on the journey of where the trajectory and the roadmap is going. So it's worth mentioning. Look for the progress and make sure they're where they're making it. So when clients leave, it's not because of the fact they think your coaching is actually bad or it's something to do with the service. It's just more simply they don't notice the results in of themselves. So if you're not proactively showing them irrefutable evidence that the signals are working, and if you're not doing that at the right frequency, that old belief structure and doubt will creep in and take control of their thoughts. And if they don't believe they're going to get a result, they then start to quit up here. And then they quit in real life. Every 6 weeks, ethically, the biggest contrast you can show them, just how far they've come, reassert the value in the service, show them the signals, show them the progress, get them looking ahead and get them looking to that ultimate vision of who they're becoming. That is literally the difference between averaging 2.8 months with each client and 6.7 months. So if you want the full coaching system that helps you build and nurture better coaching relationships, increases the retention and the income you earn per client, and helps convert that interest and relationship to drive more referrals, so you don't have to rely and live on social media to constantly refill the pipeline of leads coming to your business, you know that it self-generates through the quality of your service. I cover all of that and more in my Scale with Service coaching community. There's a free trial on the link below. You can access it, judge it for yourself before committing to anything. But the coaches with the most consistent income, they're not always the best marketers. They're not even always the best coaches. They just know how to nurture relationships. But out of the 450 plus coaches I've helped to date, the ones who actually compound and grow over time are the ones who can keep hold of their clients. They're not the ones who are optimized for going viral, having an endless lead volume coming into their business. They're the ones who are earning 2, 3, 4 times the income per client than other coaches. And when you're keeping clients for that amount of time and you're getting clients coming to the front end, that's a sustainable business with predictable income that can help generate more leads off referrals.